Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Edmondson, a stress and wellbeing coach, and this is the first video on sleep and how to get better at it. These videos are designed to empower you with the knowledge and skills to improve your sleep. And we're all different, so it's really important that you find what works for you. And whatever you choose, be consistent because it can take a couple of weeks for things to change.
We spend about a third of our lives asleep, so we know it's important, but it's only recently that scientists are starting to understand just how it works and why it's so important for our physical, mental, and emotional health. During sleep, vital things happen. Firstly, your body restores its energy. It's also the time when your body heals itself. Sleep lowers stress hormones, helps you maintain a healthy weight, boosts your memory and your immune system. So how many people in the UK report that they get enough sleep each night? What do you think? The answer is only 16%, and that's awful. Perhaps you're one of them. You're not alone. 2/3 of UK adults suffer from disrupted sleep. Everyone knows what it feels like not to have a good night's sleep and how much it affects them the next day. It's estimated that we now have around 2 hours less sleep each night than people did 50 to 100 years ago, and this is impacting our health. But we can change it. Over a series of short videos, I will share how you can improve your sleep. In video 1, I will share how sleep works, common causes of sleep issues, and some practical things you can do during the day to help yourself both fall and stay asleep. During the video, there's an opportunity to push pause and fill in the sleep survey. This will help you identify the things that might be preventing you from getting a good night's sleep. But before we dive into strategies, it's important to understand how sleep works. If you know what's stopping you from getting 7 to 9 hours, you can pick out the things that will help you the most. To understand sleep, don't think about it as an isolated event, but as a 24-hour sleep-wake pattern. Generally, sleep is controlled by two main systems, the sleep drive and the circadian rhythm. But the fight and flight response also plays a part. Let's look at each of them in a little detail. The first system is the sleep drive. This is a biological hunger for sleep that accumulates while you're awake. Quite simply, the longer you're awake, the more likely you are to fall asleep. And we can see that in the graph with the growing arrows through the day, peaking at bedtime and then decreasing at night. But why is this? Adenosine. Adenosine is a neurotransmitter. That means a chemical messenger in your brain. It's produced by your cells during the day and it lowers your brain activity and makes you feel sleepy. During waking hours, as cells are busy making energy, adenosine levels rise faster than your brain can clear them. The higher adenosine, the higher your sleep drive, the more sleepy you feel. The next system is your circadian rhythm. This is your internal 24-hour biological clock that controls how alert you feel. Light is the most important signal for the circadian rhythm, and our alertness changes throughout the day as a result of two hormones, cortisol and melatonin. You probably have noticed how your alertness fluctuates, and this graph shows the peaks when you're more alert, mostly in the morning, and the troughs when you feel less alert, mainly in the afternoon. And this fluctuation is normal. This chart shows how the circadian rhythm and the sleep drive interact. The sleep drive steadily increases from waking, whereas the circadian rhythm has a little kind of peak in the early afternoon after lunch. This is where we often feel tired. The final piece is the fight and flight response. When your brain thinks you're in danger, it won't let you fall asleep. In the days of our ancestors, this danger might have been a bear, but our modern stresses and threats are things like work deadlines, money worries, kids having trouble at school, customers, or our health. These stressors trigger the same stress response in the same way as a real bear, keeping us alert and ready for action and stopping us from relaxing and falling asleep. So now you know how sleep works. Let's look at the things that you can do during the day to help these systems. But first, take a few minutes to complete the sleep survey. This will help you identify which areas need your attention. Please pause the video and take time to complete this. So we're going to look at causes of sleep issues. As I said earlier, to understand sleep, don't think about it as an isolated event, but as a 24-hour sleep-wake pattern. Therefore, what you do during the day can impact your sleep at night. As you can see, there are many things that cause sleep issues, and I'm going to focus on the things that you might do during the day that impact sleep. Lack of routine. As we've learned, the circadian rhythm regulates our sleep cycle. When we have a regular bed and wake time, we help this rhythm remain stable. Shift work, night shifts, staying up late to watch TV, lying in at the weekend all disrupt this rhythm, making it harder to fall or stay asleep. Lack of natural sunlight. Light provides a key signal for the brain to promote alertness. It's what controls the circadian rhythm. So if you're not getting enough natural light exposure, especially in the morning, this will impact your sleep. Exercise is great for all aspects of our physical and mental health and can help improve the quality and duration of sleep. But if we exercise too close to bedtime, we stimulate the body and raise our core body temperature, and this can keep us awake. What and when you eat and drink impacts sleep. Some foods take a while to digest, and this can keep you awake. Alcohol can help you relax, but too much, especially close to bedtime, can impact the quality of your sleep, so you wake up tired and groggy. A busy or stressful day can impact sleep by stimulating the production of cortisol. This stress hormone keeps us awake, alert and ready for action. Great during the morning when it helps us get up and get going and to be focused and productive, but not in the evening when we want to wind down, relax and fall asleep. Now let's look at some of the things you can do each day to improve your sleep. One of the most effective ways to improve sleep is to have a sleep schedule. This means falling asleep and waking within the same 30-minute window each and every day. This is because the strongest signal to your biological clock is when you wake up. When you wake at a consistent time, your internal clock will recognize that as a time to start producing cortisol and signaling your brain and body to be alert. So, how do we create a sleep schedule? The first question to ask is, how long will you sleep? Sleep needs vary from person to person, but we're aiming for between 7 and 9 hours. What time will you consistently wake up? Now count back 7 to 9 hours and add an hour or so for your bedtime routine. What time will you go to bed? And what can you do to make this bedtime a reality? If you have to work nights, it's a tough situation because working nights does disrupt your circadian rhythm and it can be hard on your stress system and it can cause problems. But there are things you can do to protect yourself. Firstly, get some extra sleep before your shift. Remember to eat well on the job, fresh fruit and vegetables, and to avoid processed and high sugar foods and drinks. And when you get home, to relax and to decompress before trying to fall asleep. Expose yourself to natural sunlight. Sunlight is an important regulator when it comes to the body's sleep-wake cycle. By exposing yourself to at least 10 minutes of natural sunlight in the morning, it alerts your body it's time to wake up, to stop producing melatonin, the sleep hormone, and start producing cortisol, the alerting hormone. And this can work even on a cloudy day. Avoid caffeine products after 2 p.m. I talked about adenosine in relation to the sleep drive, the A's on the slide. And caffeine works by blocking the receptors to adenosine in the brain, making you feel less sleepy. So if the caffeine is blocking the receptor, the adenosine can't bind. This makes you feel more alert. Coffee, cola, energy drinks, and certain teas and chocolate contain caffeine, and its effects can take as long as 8 hours to fully wear off. Therefore, a cup of coffee late in the afternoon can make it hard to fall asleep and make you sleep more lightly. Research shows that exercise increases the time we spend in deep sleep. This is the most restorative sleep phase, helping to improve immune function, support heart health, and also regulate stress hormones. So exercise is great for sleep, but not within 3 hours of your bedtime. A gentle walk, yoga, or stretching in the evening is fine, as this can help you unwind from the day and set you up for a good night's sleep, but nothing too vigorous. Avoid eating within 3 hours of bedtime, as it stimulates our digestive system and interferes with sleep. Some foods can help you sleep, as they contain nutrients such as tryptophan, a building block of melatonin, the sleep hormone. And here are some examples: almonds, broccoli, bananas, and grapes. I've already mentioned how the fight and flight response keeps us alert. As humans, we can just think of something stressful and trigger this stress response. Try it now. Put your hand on your heart and think of something that stresses you. What do you notice? Has your heart rate increased? We face many challenges during the day: Zoom calls, technical issues, our children, social media, viruses, food, customers, time, traffic, just name a few. And we're designed to deal with these challenges. And then rest and recover. But many of us don't listen to the signals our body and brain tell us to take a break, so we keep on going. And this moves us to the right on the stress curve, and we end up feeling fatigued, irritated, angry, or burned out. Our ability to handle stress is linked to a good night's sleep, and a good night's sleep is linked to how we manage stress. So I'm going to share a technique with you that you can use anytime, anywhere, to take your body out of fight and flight. That's the right hand side of the stress curve, and back into rest and recover, the left hand side. This will help you release tension during the day and reduce stress hormones, so you are ready for sleep at bedtime. Okay, I'm going to share now with you a technique called 5-finger breathing. And this technique is really good for practicing throughout the day to take your body out of fight and flight and back into that rest and digest and recovery phase. And when I first learned to do this, I was doing it every hour. I would do it when I boiled the kettle. I would do it when I was in the traffic lights or before I went to the loo. And the more you practice it, the more your body easily responds and takes you out of that fight and flight response. So make time to practice, maybe every hour, so that you really calm yourself down and don't have those higher levels of stress hormones throughout the day. So I want you to sit comfortably in like an upright position. Really important that we're upright so we can use our whole lungs to breathe, and that's a really important part of the technique. I'm going to hold my hand up like this, but I'd like you to rest yours on your lap. So I want you to make sure that your shoulders are relaxing down, because when we have them up like this, we tell our brains that we are in fight and flight, and that keeps our bodies in that stress response. So we want to tell our bodies that we are safe and that we are calm. So holding your hand up, nice relaxed shoulders, we're going to trace our hand with our pointer finger and breathing in slowly to the top of the finger, and then slowly and pause and slowly breathing out. And repeat. Pause, slowly breathing out.
Pause. Slowly breathing in using our full lungs, really filling our belly full of air, and then breathing out. Really important, we breathe through our nose. It filters the air, it warms the air, but also it activates the pathway to the brain that we are safe. So really slowly and deeply breathing in, pause and slow. Really emptying the air from our lungs. So practice that. Practice it anytime you want. People don't need to see you doing it. You can even just do it in your mind. You don't need to do it with your hand. The whole idea is to slow our breathing down, to let those really deep breaths to get the oxygen into our lung and to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. And this calms us, takes us out of fight and flight.
Here are just some tips on how that 5-finger breathing works so you can practice by yourself. So, looking back at your sleep survey, what do you need to focus on to improve your sleep? Is it creating a sleep schedule to get 7 to 9 hours? Having some morning sunlight? Exercising but not too close to bedtime? Being more mindful of what and when you eat and drink? Or intentionally taking time to rest and recover and to practice the 5-finger breathing? Whatever it is, be consistent. Keeping a sleep diary can help you notice what helps you sleep better at night. And there are apps such as Sleep Cycle that can do this too. This is the end of video 1. Thank you, and I hope you sleep well.